this is actually explained in by various authors. Now, what happened? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he crossed the river Padma at a place known as Tartivapur, and he was very glad to see the beauty of this that place, and so he sat down on the river bank and told Nityananda Prabhu that I will not go to Vrindavana but will stay here. Now Nityananda Prabhu, he started laughing. He said, "You took sannyasa and left Navadvipa. Now you have changed your mind on the bank of river Padma by sitting here. You have changed your mind totally." Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied that a person should stay in a place where he feels happy. And besides this, the reason why he says, why I came here from Nilachala has not been fulfilled. He came from Nilachala. He says, the aim has not been fulfilled. That's why I will stay here and I will not go to Vrindavan now. Now, then what happened? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he walked toward the capital of Gaudadesa. He arrived in a village which is known as Chaturpura. Now, there he unexpectedly met Sanatan Goswami. This story, you would be remembering from Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is given in very great detail. Then he discussed with Sanatan Goswami whatever he had in his mind. Then he went to Kanai Natsala, and the Lord then mistook this place, that is Kanai Natsala, for Vrindavan, and felt great ecstasy. And it is very difficult to understand the intentions of the Supreme Lord. Then what happened one day when Lord Chaitanya was dancing in Sankirtana, he suddenly called out the name Narottama, Narottama. Then he stood nearby stood Nityananda Prabhu, and his hands and shoulders were near him, and he was shedding tears of ecstatic love. And upon seeing Lord Chaitanya's display of ecstatic symptoms, the devotees, they stopped their loud kirtana and chanted softly, fearing that the Lord might get hurt. And as everyone sat down surrounding the Lord, chanting sweetly, the Lord suddenly fell to the ground and he became unconscious. And even Nityananda Prabhu could not stop him from falling down. And after a short while, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he cried out, Mathura, Mathura. Now the devotees' hearts were totally shattered by hearing all this and seeing the pathetic condition of the Lord. And it appeared that the entire village of Kanai Natsala had become filled with love for Krishna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he loudly cried and lamented, and his golden body was covered with dust as he rolled on the ground. And the onlookers, the men and women, gazed at the Lord's enchanting form without blinking their eyes. And it was very clear that the Lord was intoxicated with love for God, as he repeatedly chanted Mathura, Mathura, Radha, Radha, like this. And the Lord cried out, O Radha, my body is burning because I cannot see you. O Lalita, O Vishakha, O Champaklata, where are you? Alas, can somebody show me the Pranasakhis? Please save my life, for I cannot bear their separation any longer. And if I cannot see Krishna right now, I'll drown myself in the Yamuna. Oh Lalita, come quickly, go to Mathura. Why am I not no longer able to see the Lord of my heart? Now then, when Nityananda Prabhu saw the Lord overwhelmed with such ecstatic love, and with the seeing the ecstatic symptoms in the Lord, he caught hold of him while thinking, Why did he come to village Kanai Natsala? Maybe this is the place where Lord Gaurachandra will live forever. Now, Nityananda Prabhu, he loudly chanted Lord Jagannatha's name, which brought Chaitanya Mahaprabhu back to external consciousness. Then what happened? Chaitanya, again he called out, Narottama, Narottama, looking around as if to find him. And everyone decided that it would be best to somehow or the other take the Lord to Nilachala, thinking that once he crossed the river Padmavati, he would again become peaceful. Now, when the Lord again called out Narottama, Narottama, the people began to understand that perhaps a great person was about to appear. Now, Lord Chaitanya embraced Nityananda in ecstatic love and soaked his holy body with tears. And Nityananda Prabhu, he pacified the Lord while patiently explaining that they should go to Nilachala. But Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Krishna has forbidden me to go there, go back to Nilachala. Besides, there is such a crowd there in this place. Still, I will do whatever you feel is right. I am not independent. I will execute your order. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied to Nityananda Prabhu. Then Nityananda Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, he asked, you have repeatedly been calling the name of Narottama, Narottama during your Kirtana. I think he must be an exalted devotee and I wish to see him. I think gaining his association would be of great benefit to me. Nityananda Prabhu is saying, because he says that being alone, I was unable to protect you when you displayed symptoms of ecstatic love for the Supreme Lord, and I cannot tolerate seeing your pathetic condition when you feel intense separation from Lord Krishna. Now, hearing all this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says there is a place called Gaderhat near here. It is so pleasant that if you visit it, you will not want to leave that place. And my dear Nityananda, I have great desire to distribute love of God at that place. The Sankirtana movement has inundated the entire Navadvipa area, but now I live in Nilachala. I wish to preserve the Sankirtana movement here after I leave the world, so I will distribute love of Godhead. Now, Nityananda Prabhu said that why are you so concerned about this particular place? Who there is so fortunate candidate for your mercy? Now, to that question, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that as long as you are present in this world, love of God will not disappear. And if love of God is given to a suitable person, it will remain intact. Otherwise, it may be misused. At present, people all over the country have become intoxicated by love of God. Still, I wish to save the prema here for future generations. Let us go to Gadarhat. I'll give love of God to a person who will, in due course of time, intoxicate everyone with such ecstasy. And he said, my dear Nityananda, don't worry. You do not know your own greatness. You have bound me with your love since I have been in Lachala, and you had felt great separation from me and cried profusely and shed tears over me. I want to deposit that love in the waters of river Padmavati so that she can deliver it to Narottama. This Narottama will be personification of love of God and he will soon take bath. Now Nityananda said that where is this place, Gadarhat? Now I would like to go there. Both sides of the Padmavati are attractive. The crystal clear water of the river enchants all who take bath in it. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Gadarhat while pretending to others that he was going to Vrindavana. On his return journey, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu arrived at the beautiful village of Kudadarapur, where they spent the night discussing Krishna Katha. And the next morning, the Lord took bath in the river and then performed Sankirtana. Then the Lord and his associates, they roared loudly in ecstatic love, and their bodies shivered in ecstasy. Their dancing became so wild that thousands of people could not have held them still. During the Kirtana, he repeatedly called out, Narottama, Narottama. And Nityananda Prabhu said, this Narottama has stolen your love of God. Now, the author here is trying to tell us that Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya Prabhu bestowed love of God on Narottama Das Thakura even before his birth. Now, the two lords and their associates finally stopped the Kirtana and entered Padmavati river to take bath. And as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body touched the waters, the river goddess Padmavati became intoxicated with love of God, and her waves came to stand still, and her water began to rise. And within a short time, the village was flooded. The people were both astonished and frightened to see so much water when it was not the rainy season. Now the Lord told Padmavati that save this ecstatic love for Narottama. You can award it to him in due course of time. But she asked, how will I baptize him? The Lord replied that when someone touches or someone's touch makes you more ecstatic, know for certain that it is Narottama only. Now, happily, Padmavati held within herself the love of God given to her by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, containing it for Narottam Das Thakur. Now, when Padmavati bade farewell to their lordships, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they stood motionless for a while, watching her depart, and the flood of love of God gradually filled other villages, such as Jajigrama, so that people in them, they were also maddened with ecstatic love, ecstatic emotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. And the Lord said, I feel like staying here longer because this place is wonderful. It seems as if you wish to personally take charge of Narottama and award him love for God. This Nityananda Prabhu is asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But then two lords, they left for Gadarhat, and after crossing the Padma river, they walked toward Nilachala, that is the Puri Dhama in Odisha. He had come from there. Now, people often ask, what is prema? Are dancing, singing, and crying are the characteristics of love of Godhead? Who can make such unfortunate people understand how love of God becomes manifest and how it acts? Lord Krishna is the personification of love of God, and he himself appears as ecstatic love. And Sri Rupa Goswami has confirmed this thing in his many books. And we'll study about Narottama Das Thakur. And what is time now? 7, 9. Then, okay, then let me finish about his birth of Narottama Das Thakur. Now, then what happened, as I told you, Narottama Das, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, they started walking toward Nilachala, and finally they reached Nilachala. And from there, the Lord inspired his associates to distribute love of God. And the Lord that then ordered Nityananda Prabhu to preach the holy name in Bengal. Go back and preach in Bengal, which at that time was devoid of devotional service. Then Nityananda Prabhu went to Bengal and distributed the holy name of love of God without discrimination. And he intoxicated everyone with ecstatic love for Lord Krishna. And in due course of time, Veerachandra Prabhu, he appeared to carry on the two lords' mission. And then all of the Lord Chaitanya's devotees, as you know, they are spontaneously attached to him, as well as to Nityananda Prabhu and Advaiti Acharya. And by Lord Chaitanya's order, these devotees appeared at different places in this age of Kali, and they were intoxicated by the performance of Harinam Sankirtana, which was inaugurated by none other than Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which was the confidential mission of his coming or his appearing in this material world. And in turn, these intoxicated, these exalted devotees, they intoxicated all the other living entities. And the ordinary people are not aware of the glorious position of these devotees, although their exalted position and activities are described in many scriptures. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he released the love of Krishna to his full satisfaction. He was assisted by Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami, and the Lord brought Lord thought that when I leave this world, it will become devoid of love of God, since all my associates who have come with me, they'll also go back with me to the spiritual world. What should I do to ensure that love of God remains manifest in this material world, even after me and the other my associates and the exalted devotees they leave? And to ensure that love of God remained the world, Lord Gauranga, he decided to cause Narottam Das Thakur to appear at Gaderhat and Srinivas Acharya appear at Radha Desa. Regarding Srinivas Acharya, we have heard in detail earlier. Now, then what happened? The please do not, the author then tells that please do not criticize for my presentation because I am not discussing the things in a sequential manner. Now, after this, what happened? Hoping to um, obtain a son, Majumdar, he offered tulasi leaves to his Salagrama Sila with love and devotion. And the Supreme Lord was pleased by his worship. And one day Majumdar heard a voice from the sky announcing that his desire would be fulfilled. It said that you will soon conceive a beautiful son, will shower everyone with love of God, and this boy will bring you great pleasure. Now, in due course of time, Narayani, Majumdar's devoted wife, became pregnant, and even at that gave Majumdar unlimited happiness. Then one day, the chaste Narayani called her husband and said, I had a dream last night in which I saw a great personality entering my body from your body. This is what she told him, and said that I saw this toward the end of the night, which suggests that my dream will come true. Now, both the husband and wife were jubilant hearing this, and all forms of distress they got vanquished from their minds. And one day, an astrologer came to Majumdar as he was sitting in his courtyard with his friends and relatives. The astrologer made calculations on a piece of paper and then predicted that this child in Narayana's womb is a great personality. He will be the cause of happiness for everyone in this country, and his birth will end all prevailing distress. All your inauspiciousness will be destroyed when he appears here. And just then a messenger came with a package from the local landlord containing 10,000 coins for Majumdar. And everyone was astonished at this and concluded that whatever the astrologer had predicted had already started to become true. Now, the astrologer he said that you will prosper and feel unlimited joy, and the child should be named Narottama, for he is truly the best among human beings, and he will be born on the fifth day of the waxing moon in the month of Magha. And Majumdar offered his obeisances to the astrologer, and gave him much wealth for whatever he did. And after 10 months and 10 days, Narayani gave birth to her exalted child, and she and her husband were so jubilant that they forgot everything. The entire country became auspicious due to the child's advent, and one could hear the chanting of the Lord Hari's name everywhere in the country, and the people's hearts were filled with joy, and ecstatic symptoms like shedding of tears become manifest in their bodies, and everyone, regardless of his or her physical condition, become fully intoxicated by the love of God. Even the impious became pious and fortunate, and the Brahmanas, the Sudras, the other castes, and the other people in the society with social differences, they danced together in ecstasy and totally immersed in ecstatic love for the God. The cows and their calves, they bellowed constantly, and they ran here and there in joy, and the ladies, they gathered gifts such as gold and paddy and went to with their husbands to see the newborn child's beautiful face. And soon Majumdar's house was filled with all these gifts. Now, then, then uh, we'll see how Narottam Das Thakur, he leaves his home and travels to Vrindavan. Since time is there, let me see how far I can go. Now, just after Narottam Das Thakur was born, his father invited all the musicians to his house and gathered there, and they celebrated for 8 days and 8 nights, and hundreds of Brahmanas from surrounding villages, they came there to chant the Vedic hymns for the child's well-being. Thereafter, after 6 months, the 6 months they passed swiftly, and his parents celebrated their son's grand eating ceremony on the auspicious day. And besides this, the child received his fast friends. Majumdar presumably fed many brahmanas and relatives, and then awarded them charity according to their status. And when the king heard about the wonderful child, he congratulated Narottama's parents and sent gifts of gold and silver, which Narayani happily used to decorate her son. And at the age of 5 years, Narottam's ears were pierced in the ceremony, and he began his education. Soon he became a brilliant student, and in times studying, he started studying the available books. And as the year passed, his parents were increasingly delighted both to see their son's brilliance and their charming beauty. And when Narottama was 12 years old, his parents began to think about his marriage, and they invited an experienced matchmaker to their home and requested him to find a suitable bride for their son. And when Narottam Das heard this, he became frightened and decided to leave home. That night he dreamed of Lord Nityananda smiling sweetly at him and saying that Narottama, you are living free from anxiety. Forget your you have forgotten your eternal identity. If you get married, you'll fall into great calamity. So go quickly to Padmavati river. There you'll attain everything. Now Narottama immediately rose from his sleep, and he was astonished by the dream he saw, and he started for the river without informing anyone. As he walked, he felt joyful and began to chant Lord Hari's name. And when he arrived at the river, he offered his obeisances to the holy river and chanted the names of Gauranga and entered the water to take bath. And as soon as he uh, entered the river, Padmavati was overcome with ecstasy, and her waters began to swell in all directions. Since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had ordered her to deliver the love of God to whosoever touch, whosoever's touch made her feel like this way, Padmavati humbly said that, dear Narottama, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has left a reservoir of love of God here, especially for you. Please take it from me. Then the Lord left his love of God here before he traveled to Nilachala. And this wealth belongs to you. Take it because I cannot bear the burden of holding it any longer. Ecstatic love of God has made me greatly agitated. Take this love and distribute it everywhere. And Narottama Das did not know what he should do with this love, but he extended his palms to receive the love Padmavati was offering, and Padmavati asked, "Where will you keep it? If you drink this love, you will become intoxicated." Nevertheless, Padmavati gave Narottama Das the reservoir of love of God, and then Narottama Das drank it to his full satisfaction. And as soon as he drank that water, however, his entire body was transformed and he took on a golden hue and he began to laugh, cry, dance in ecstasy. And in the meantime, Narottam's parents, they woke and saw that their son was not in his room. So they learned that he was standing by Padmavati river, and in haste they went to find him, but became even more disturbed to see what came across him. Instead, they saw a person of golden hue standing by the river, and his parents could not recognize their son. And Narottama's mother, she cried profusely, overwhelmed with grief because she thought that she had lost her son. But Narottama Das was unaware of his parents' presence. So he absorbed, because he was so absorbed in ecstatic love for Krishna. And his condition was like that of a mad person. And he jumped, danced, and ran around. And the hair of his body stood end to end. And he exclaimed, Goranga, Goranga. And eventually, Narayani, his mother, pathetically crying, pierced his mind, and Narottama Das realized that his parents had arrived there on the river bank. And Narottama Das then approached his mother and asked why she was crying if she has lost him. I am standing right in front of you. Why you were not able to recognize me? Now, she said that you are support of a blind person like me. Let us go home. Narottama's mother embraced him with affection and repeatedly kissed him. And she said that, let us go home. She said that I did not recognize you because your complexion has changed and you are now so sweeter and so attractive than before. In such it is such a pleasure to me to hold you. Now, when Narottama Das and his parents went home, Narottama Das, he danced all the way, and his parents cried in ecstasy just to watch him. And Narottama manifested so many ecstatic symptoms that his parents were worried about him. They tried their best to pacify him, but to no avail. They could not. They were not successful in their efforts, and Narottama repeatedly lost external consciousness, sometimes falling on the ground and sometimes running here and there. And because her son remained in such a condition, Narayani forbade him to leave the house alone. And in the end, she confined him to his room. And to confine him filled his parents' hearts with grief, and they struggled to know how to help their son who was immersed in Gaura Prema. Narottama Das then continues to express intense feelings of separation and could not be calmed. He said, he exclaimed, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, I am dying due to separation from you. To whom can I explain this distress? Who would believe me? I can no longer stay at home. I must leave this place immediately. And finally, Narayani went to Narottama and caught hold of his hands. She said, Dear child, please explain your problem to me. Why are you crying so much? Let me die because I cannot tolerate your pathetic condition. Now to this Narottama Das replied that my dear mother, please do not lament for me. I am fine. Please bring me something to eat. I'll tell you everything later. And after Narottama finished eating, he sat down with his parents and said, I am facing great dilemma and I do not know what to do. A golden complexioned child has entered my heart. Since that time, I have become like this. I cannot stay here any longer. I must go to Vrindavan. Please do not keep me here. Narottama was overwhelmed with love of God as he spoke, and tears flowed from his eyes, and his entire body was soaked with tears. And his mother lamented that my child went alone to the Padmavati river in the morning and came back becoming a different person. He is now hunted by a golden celestial being. Let us bring an exorcist to cure him. Narottama and his father agreed and summoned the exorcist. Then he examined Narottama thoroughly and concluded that he has been possessed by a demigod and he is also suffering from a gastric disorder. To cure him, you will need a medicine made from a jackal's brain. Find a jackal, kill him, and will make the medicine from its brain. Only then will your son regain his former beauty and valor. Now, as soon as Narottam Das heard about the jackal's cure, he laughed and said, Father, do not kill the jackal in order to cure me. If you kill a living being, out of affection for me, it will increase my illness. I am not diseased. I simply want to go to Vrindavan. Then Narottam began to cry. Then Narottam Das thought that I am facing great danger. It seems that I will never be able to go to Vrindavan. And from that time, Narottama Das looked for a way to go to Vrindavan and to assure his parents that he had given up his ambition to leave home and go to Vrindavan. He began to act like a gross materialist. Like this way, he lived in the family happily for some time. Although at night Narottama Das continued his plan making, he felt that he did not, if he did not go to Vrindavan, then his life would be useless. And then one day, a messenger arrived with a letter from a local landholder asking Narottama Das to come and see him. And his mother was afraid he would leave her alone. And she thought that you are like my eyesight. Even if I were offered millions of rupees, I would not let you go. But if I go, the landlord will certainly be pleased with me, Narottam Das said. And then his mother said that, how will I survive your leaving to meet the Jamindar? Now we cannot live without you. Try to return within 10 days and then we'll arrange your marriage. Now Narottama Das assured his mother that he was prepared to leave and come back after 10 days from the Jamindar's house. And then what happened in the night, Narottama Das could not sleep when he went there and he was agitated by thoughts of Lord Nityananda's causeless mercy. And when the messenger was asleep, he quickly arose from his bed, left the place, remembering Lord Nityananda's lotus feet. Then Narottama walked west, continuously looking back to see if anyone was following him. Meanwhile, Narottama Das' parents they heard that their son had left the Jamindar's messenger, and Narayani ran out of the house screaming that, how could you leave me? I will die if I do not see you. I do not know where you have gone. Then she also cursed the creator for this cruel act. Then she told that I understand why you displayed affection when you left with the messenger. I no longer have any shelter. How could you do to me like this? As Narayani was lamenting this way, her relatives they gathered and pacified her, tried to pacify. They said that we'll send some people in all directions to look for Narottama. Someone will certainly bring him back. Then hundreds of people went to search for Narottama, but after some days they returned without finding him. And when the last of them returned, Narayani called out her son's name and then fell unconscious. And many people tried in vain to pacify her, but she could not be pacified by anybody. Then Narottama Das walked in the absorbed deeply in thoughts of Vrindavana, and all the dear servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who were residing there absorbed as it was, and he sometimes forgot to eat. And he said, he thought, what will happen to me? Where should I go? Will I be able to see Rupa and Sanatana Goswami in Vrindavana? Because they understand my heart's distress, and waves of ecstatic love continued to flood Narottama Dasa's heart and mind. And one day he was sleeping beneath a tree when a golden complexioned Brahmana boy appeared in his dream and brought him a pot of milk. And the boy said, Narottama Dasa, if you drink this milk, all of your fatigue and bodily pain will be removed, and it will be easy for you to walk toward Vrindavan. Then the young boy placed the pot of milk in front of Narottama Das and left. Then Rupa and Sanatan Goswami appeared and said, Dear Narottama, drink this milk and all your miseries will vanish. And Lord Chaitanya had personally given you this milk. Now we brothers have come here to see you. Get up and let us go to Vrindavan together. Know for certain that you have been favored by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now Narottama Das he woke up and he remembered Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami and felt separation from him. Then the two Goswamis told him that, listen, Narottama, you have accepted the renounced order of life at a young age. Only one who is personally favored by Gauranga Prabhu Mahaprabhu can leave home and accept the renounced order. You are the son of a wealthy man, so you are not familiar with misery. When one renounces his home, he has to suffer a great deal of physical discomfort, and you have to do that. Then Narottama, and he said that Narottama, the Lord has saved a reservoir of a lot of love for Godhead for you, and accept that love and inundate the whole world with the love of Godhead. And after hearing all these words from the Goswamis, Narottama Das humbly offered his obeisances to them and prayers to the two brothers. And while doing, he cried and rolled on the ground. And Rupa and Sanatana then placed their lotus feet on his head and they departed. Uh, this is how Narottama Das Thakur he goes to Brindavana. Balance of the story we'll hear next time. I have finished today's story about how Narottama Das Thakur he appeared with the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Any questions or comments on this? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The last thing when you finished, like with the Srila Rupa Goswami ji and Srila Sanatan Goswami ji placed their lotus feet, was that in a vision or was that because I remember Narottam Das Thakur ji, wherever he goes, he misses like Srila Jiva Goswami, he misses Janava Mata. So he is lamenting the separation, like he wants to meet all these devotees. So please elaborate on that, like, if I'm mistaken, is it on a
Okay.
vision or is it like real?
Okay. The answer to this is they appeared in a dream only, and in front of him they were in person. In person. That's why it is said that at the end they put their feet on his head and blessed him. That
Oh,
means all these Goswamis, actually, if you see these exalted personalities, the Goswamis, they are none different from the Lord. They can exist in many places and they can show so many pastimes. So this is what is the answer.
thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So wonderful,
Hare.
Prabhuji. I thought it will go on and on. I didn't want it to stop. Just waiting for the next question. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare
Any
Krishna,
other?
Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. So
Dandavat.
wonderful, Prabhuji. Our most favorite Acharya, Narottam Das Thakur. We like to sing his songs very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
थैंक यू सो मच प्रभु मगर प्रभु जी फिर उनके माता पिता का क्या हुआ लास्ट में
They had
मतलब
to leave.
ये एक पेनफुल सिचुएशन होती है माँ बाप के लिए कि
Yeah,
ऐसे
you'll hear when he goes to Vrindavan, then Narottam Das Thakur, Srinivas Acharya, and Shyamananda Prabhu, they come back. Then in between the books they got stolen, and Srinivas Acharya he stays there to find them, and he sends Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Prabhu, Narottam Das Thakur to Bengal and Shyamananda Prabhu to Odisha to preach. And at that time when he comes, he will meet his parents. That will come up in the story later on.
ओके प्रभु जी थैंक यू
And Gaura Kishore Das Baba
वेरी
ji.
इंटरेस्टिंग प्रभु जी, वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. लगता है इसको सुनते ही रहें.
Thank you.
Very wonderful class. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna.
Just 1 second. Yes.
Hare
Gaura,
Krishna Babu, thank you so much.
sorry, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna Babu, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat pranam.
So thank you so much for a wonderful class, Prabhu. So nice, as everyone said. Just I'm echoing them. Very nice, Prabhu. So Prabhu, is there any way we can share this material or somewhere, or I'm not sure. Just
No, you read Prema Vilasa. Prema Vilasa by Nityananda Dasa.
okay.
It is all given in that.
Okay.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. So, I mean, one thing I was just going, as I was explaining Padmavati, how she gives pot of water. That's what you said, that,
Yes.
all
Yes.
the
Yes.
nectar into mixed with that, and that is the love.
Yes. In that form, and Narottama, he drinks and becomes intoxicated.
So we don't see this kind of example, Prabhuji, right? So I'm just trying to see, right? So this is something unique. Like we see, instruction given, or you see the Lord touching the conch shell and then getting all those things. But it is really nice. So how fortunate is a Narottam, he is, and that's why we see it through his writings, right? So all his, so nice. He
Yes,
writes
yes,
from that.
he came for that, and he is the eternal associate of the Supreme Lord. So he has got all the qualities, all the powers, and that's why he could do this.
Yeah, and that Lalita Mataji's question, that because I believe that's what I'm just trying to correct also, because Sanatan Goswami and Jeev Goswami, Rupa Goswami was not there when physically Narottam Das Thakur appeared, right?
Yes.
Right,
When
and
he
that's
goes,
what.
we'll hear about that in the next story. What
Okay.
happens? He actually meets Jiva Goswami only.
Yes, that's my understanding also. Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Any other question or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Srila Gaura Kishore, I do not know who asked this question to Srila Gaura Kishore Das Baba ji. that how to achieve pure devotion or pure bhakti. He said that only costs you, some annas, like 25, 25 anna or something.
Yes.
By this Srila Narottama Das Thakur's Prarthana, and there was another book, I forgot the name of the Prema Vilasa or Prarthana, and there was another book written by
Prema Bhakti Chandrika.
Prema Bhakti Chandrika. Yes, I have read both the books.
Yeah, and then Gaura Kishore Das Babaji says if you just buy these two books, you will achieve prema, love of Godhead for sure. There is no doubt, like 100% guaranteed.
Yes, that is true. That is given. That is very true. That is a true incident.
And I forgot the personality to whom Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji mentioned this. Like, it only costs 25 anna, to get prema bhakti. It's not difficult. Like, if you read these two books, you will really
Yes.
achieve.
Yes, he was such an exalted personality, and if you see all his songs, his bhajans, and his books, Prema Bhakti Chandrika, and all that, they are wonderful. It is beyond us to comprehend those, but still, then we should try to read them and understand whatever we can.
And actually, in one of his songs, which is a very famous song by Srila Narottama Das Thakurji, which everybody sings, it's a very small song, Vrindavana Ramyasthana. He describes the beauty, and it's very simple to understand. It's not very
Yes.
complicated. Like he's having that vision, and he shares that vision how a Vrindavan Dham looks, and who are the personalities and what's on the lotus 8 petals, like Radha's Sakis, Ashta Sakis are there, principal gopis are there on the 8 petals, and in the center there is a jeweled, place where two people are sitting. Who are they? Shri Radha Krishna, and then he goes on describing this, and a very simple, like six lines in 6 couplets or 8 couplets, and it is beautifully written. And like that, every song of Srila Narottama Das Thakur in separation, and all the songs are very beautiful.
Yes, like when we see Vrindavan, we see so many the other things like dirt and other things, but the great personalities, they see Divya Vrindavana in which Lord Krishna is there. He is there even today. And we are not able to see and comprehend how it can be that thousands, lakhs of people are moving around, and how Krishna is living there, how he is going to graze his cows in the morning, and how he comes back, and all the leelas like the Rasa Leela and all that, they are taking place. It is beyond us, but for exalted devotees, yes, they see those things in front of them, and then they describe. But it is not like the any other poet imagining and writing. They write whatever they see in their mind's eye. They are such exalted personalities. That is very, very true. There is no doubt about that.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you, Archana Mataji, for reminding me of that book named Prema Chandrika, Prema Bhakti Chandrika.
Prema Bhakti. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Yes. You should read that. That is very good.
Yeah,
Any
very
other
small books, actually.
Yes,
Very small.
Yes. Any other question or comment? If no question or comment, then we can conclude today's class with the Nrsimha prayers.
Prabhuji, one request, one song, please. Narottama Das Thakur ji ke liye.
Yes.
Gaurango Bali.
Prabhuji, before that, 1 minute, Mataji. I just wanted to ask Prabhuji about the Narottam Vilas. There is another book called Narottam Vilas.
Yes.
So this is Prema Vilas, right? So it's a different.
This is Prema Vilasa by Nityananda Dasa. Nityananda Dasa was.
So this book is big. This book has only Narottam Das Thakur or any other acharya? Prema Vilasa.
Prema Vilasa, it gives about Narottama Das Thakur. It gives about Srinivas Acharya, Shyamananda Thakur, and all the activities of these three personalities in Vrindavan.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Prabhuji, Prem Bhakti Chandrika written by?
Narottam Das Thakur.
Okay, okay, Prabhuji. May I do a small share,
Yes,
Prabhuji?
yes, 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 yes.
श्रील नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर की जय हो। गौरांगो बोलिते हबे फूल का शरीर, हरि हरि बोलिते नयन भवे नीरा, हार कबे नित चांदे करुणा होइबे, संसार वासना मोर कबे तुझ हबे, विषय छाड़िया कबे शुद्ध हबे मान, कबे हम हे रब श्री श्री वृंदावना, रूप रघुनाथ पदे होइबे आकुति, कबे हम जब से युगल प्रीति, रूप रघुनाथ पदे रहु मोर आशा, प्रार्थना करे सदा नरोत्तम दास, गौरांगो बोलिते हबे फूल का शरीर, हरि हरि बोलिते नयन बबे नीरा, हरि हरि बोलिते नयन बबे नीरा। श्री नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। थैंक यू प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you very much. So next weekend, I'll take the feedback from you who want to join Charu Prabhuji's Bhagavatam classes. We can conclude today's class with the Nrsimha prayers, please.
May I pray, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Namaste Narasimhaya, Namaste Narasimhaya, Praladadaine, Praladadaine, Hiranyakashipurvakshaha, हिरण्यकशिपूर्वक्षः शीलटङ्कानकालये, शीलटङ्कानकालये, इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो, इतो नरसिंहो परतो नरसिंहो, यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो, यतो यतो यामि ततो नरसिंहो, बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो, बहिर्नरसिंहो हृदये नरसिंहो, नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे, नरसिंहमदिं शरणं प्रपदे, तव करकमलवरे नका अद्भुत शृङ्गा दलित हिरण्यकशिपो तनुभृङ्गा, केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, केशवधृता नरहरिरूपा, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Nrsimhadev, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha, Jaya Prahlad Maharaj, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. भक्ति विघ्न विनाशक श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की जय, श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह भगवान की जय, श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो
Vaishnava Namo. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for wonderful.
Thank you,
Hare
wonderful.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Dandavat
Prabhuji.
Pranam,
Hare
Dandavat Pranam to all.
Dandavat
Thank you,
Pranam.
Prabhuji.
Hare
Thank you
Hare
very much.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Krishna,
Thank you.
Prabhuji, Dandavat
Very much.
Pranam. Hare Krishna, Bhuvan Mataji, Prabhuji. Ji. Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.